Hello, how's it going, everybody?
Hello.
We are here for our, what, is this the 6th episode?
Couldn't tell you, friend.
You don't know?
After one, I would... Can't tell
I think
you.
it's the 6th episode. So welcome, everybody, and first we gotta get comfortable, so I'm gonna take my
I'm already
shoes off.
comfortable.
Oh, yes.
My mermaid
You got
socks.
your mermaid socks. These are some more Chelsea boots. These are some light kind of tan ones. It's kind of cool. It has like a different little texture there on the inside. 2 types of leather there.
Cute.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, a little different of a vibe for outfits today. You're looking put together. I've got
Thank you.
a flannel, leggings tucked into socks.
What, you didn't want to dress up today?
All that good stuff. No. Because I don't have a dress code for work. I've just completed my first week back at work.
Oh. Since I guess it was closed for all of us.
Yes, we're
But
still
it's not
closed.
really, yeah.
We're still closed. We're just doing work on the store, just like 5 of us. I think it's actually exactly 5. Impressive that I... Is it?
I don't know.
6 maybe? I don't know. Anyways, we're just doing work on the store. So we obviously can just wear whatever.
Because
So
like
I
no
just-
customers are allowed in.
Yeah. So I just wear
They
t-shirts.
unlock the doors for me though. I'll have you know.
Not to let you in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just to let me out. So I may receive the gifts you bring me.
You don't always come out. Sometimes I just hand it in.
Depends.
If
have-
it's lunchtime.
If one of us has time. Both of us have time.
Mm-hmm.
Just one. No. Both.
True. So yes, I have been visiting her and bringing you some things.
He tried to bring me, I want to try the new Starbucks drink.
Oh yes.
Not really into Starbucks.
Yeah,
Almost
we
never
don't-
go there.
Yeah, no.
But
not
I
regularly.
saw an ad. They got me.
Oh, see, some ads do work. I'm of the opinion that the commercials that you see don't really.
Most of
Like.
them. I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
thought you were the one that tells me, oh no, they're subtly affecting you.
No.
But I've always been like, no, they don't get me.
Well, I've read a bunch of articles about that they do subtly, subconsciously get you.
I guess
but
that makes sense if you see like a brand a couple times and then suddenly you need something that they provide and you're like, oh, I've heard a lot about that
Right.
brand. Might as well try
That's
that
what
one.
they say. But anyway, Starbucks drink.
I forget what it is. Like a guava?
Yeah.
Like iced pink
It's like
looking.
a guava passion fruit thing.
Yeah, passion fruit.
Yeah.
I want to try that. I think I used to get like a passion fruit lemonade type thing. Maybe it wasn't passion fruit. It was like a pink lemonade thing. Raspberry. I have no idea. It was good. I should figure out what it was. Anyways, he tried to give me that twice now.
True.
And they were sold out each time. So we got, what did we get today? A matcha pineapple iced something, which was delish.
It was very good. It was very good. Their matcha pineapple drink is good.
And then you got me a pink drink the first time.
Yes, true.
Those are delish.
Those are good.
We're not really super into coffee.
No, yeah, when we go there, we honestly don't get like a coffee. We used to get like a
We get like iced,
caramel
like sweet coffee.
macchiato.
Caramel?
She says caramel.
Macchiato?
I say caramel.
Macchiato?
Macchiato? I say caramel, but a lot of...
I say both because I
you
used to only
say-
say caramel, but now that kind of sounds weird to me because he says
Caramel.
all the time, which
Well,
is
it's
weird,
spelled more
but
like caramel, and I get that. But your
I say it
parents,
both ways
your
now.
parents said caramel because they're British.
my mother, yes.
Oh, your mom specifically. Oh, that was both. Well, both your parents have.
Just my whole, I don't know.
Both your parents have an English, a British accent.
Yeah?
Yeah. So anyway, they said caramel. I always just said caramel. But yeah, I brought you that.
Is that a British thing?
I think so. Yeah. Because most.
Didn't know that.
I think so. Yeah. Most Americans say caramel. Some don't. But.
Don't like it. Don't like
So
it.
yeah. So yeah, we she's been back to work. I've been working, but she's been back to work. But my work, I have flexibility.
I was just going to say, my first week back, and now this is his last day of all his
That's
school's
true.
teaching.
Yeah, a lot of
So
other
he's
things
gonna
still, but
have
I'll have some time.
a little
Yeah.
more free time, and I'm
Yeah.
back to work. So
Yeah, true.
all our things always line up like that. Whenever he has like holidays,
No.
I'm working like extra hours
No.
because it's a holiday.
No.
We spend tons of time together all the time. But I'm just saying,
Okay,
like
you're
our
saying some of the specific
work break
breaks.
type things,
Like
always
longer breaks.
are on opposite.
Right.
Mine like gets more and yours stops.
Yeah, but I mean, with your type of work, that's kind of how it is. Everyone gets some time off around holiday type things. But then holidays for you are busier. That's the world of retail. And that's why people sometimes like it or hate it. Some people, I knew somebody that worked multiple jobs and whatever, and they liked working the holidays because they got time and a half during all the holiday
They didn't
times.
like it. They just liked getting paid.
Well, but
they're
if
not like,
but think about it. If
Ooh,
you
I'm
enjoy,
so glad I get to work.
Well-
if somebody offered to pay him that, not doing that,
Okay,
they'd be
but
like,
that-
lit.
but that's not a fair question. Most people make money through a job. Oh, pretty
Don't
much.
say.
Well, no. Well, that's what you just said. You just said, oh, if you could just be given the money, but no one's given the money, so you have to like work to some degree. If the money is, if you want the money, you have to like the job to some degree. Well, I guess you don't have to. You could just have to be making ends meet or whatever, and have to be surviving. So therefore, you like the money, but not the job. I mean, that's true, and I understand that, there are a lot of people that don't like their job, but I feel like if they really didn't, they'd also say, unless they needed that money, this person I'm talking about didn't technically need it. They didn't technically need it. They were, with their parents or whatever, and they didn't have to survive off of this. Yes, I understand that there's definitely some people where they have to be working and need to be, most people, not some people, most people, me, you, everybody. But I think there was another guy I was talking to, and it was interesting. I mean, it's, I heard it specifically. I've heard it before, but he was someone I was actually having a conversation with in real life, not online or anything, in real life. And he said, well, I don't know if he actually did this, but this is what he said. He said that he doesn't look at on the check. He doesn't look too much at the money. He looks more at the hours down at the bottom, because you know how they get that little pay stub thing, and it'll say, now, if you're hourly, you can do that. If you're salary, you could do that by, dividing it or whatever. Like I'm salary at a lot of the things I do, and hourly. I'm both. But anyway, you could divide it out if you're salary. If you're not, you can see the amount of hours you worked for that. And he's like, oh, I pay more attention to the hours, and that much of my life is gone. Like it was a little, it was a little cheesy,
a
but
negative? He's like, oh,
no,
this
was
much
it worth
wasted.
it? But yes, he was a little more on the negative side of that. He wasn't, I don't know if he was a negative guy per se, but he was he was looking at that as, I could have been doing something else during that time. This is how much time I had to spend.
Spending a lot of time working.
Right.
But I've had a good week back so far.
Yeah, you've had a good week back?
Yeah.
But you've also kind of complained about it some too. I mean, you're back, but I mean, what's the balance now that you've actually had the week? Because I know multiple days in it, you were kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But also just for pieces of it. Did you end up liking that day at the end of it?
Yeah, I think so. There was one day that felt really long. And it just depends what you're doing. Because on that day,
you have a lot of different projects.
We worked on for like an hour, finished something we had started the day before. We did a couple like different short jobs. So it just felt like, that project's complete. How much time passed? Oh, not that much. So it was like a bunch of little things that made the day seem like it was dragging on, because we're like, okay, we've done this one, we've done this. How is it still not even lunch yet?
Interesting.
But
wait. So, but this is actually interesting to me, because you moved from project to project. It felt longer, and that's you regularly. If you're moving to multiple projects in a shorter amount of time, it makes your day feel longer.
Kind of zoned out there. I mean, I was listening, but you kind of lost me.
So if you have multiple projects, so let's say you have project A, B, and C, and if you move to project A, B, and C, if you move quickly between the three things in a shorter amount of time, does it make that short amount of time feel longer?
Kind of. I mean, it'll depend on how long you spend on each thing.
But that's what I'm saying. So if it's quicker,
that's how the day felt, because we had jumped to so many different sections. I was like, oof.
Interesting. Well, because for me, I have a very diverse schedule. Every day is pretty much different. Every day is completely different. I mean, I know everyone has a task, but you go to the one building, you do whatever's in, I have multiple different locations that I visit daily for multiple reasons, different types of locations, different co-workers, different people, some people that I work for, some people that work for me. It's very interesting. And to me, it makes the day go faster.
I see.
Which I'm sure you can understand, but I'm wondering, so for me, I'm at least visiting 3 locations every day. Usually. I guess there's some days that are 2.
But then it's like the next day it could be 3 new ones.
And then, right, yeah. So it's very interesting. But for me, it actually makes it feel like it goes faster. And I don't even know if you were saying that slower as a negative thing. Well, you were in that instance.
Yeah, but I mean, I was doing all of that in one spot. You have to be like, oh, hop in the car, go to this place. So it
right.
I see why it might make yours.
Okay. But do you think
faster.
switching between the projects makes it something? Because that's actually something I enjoy about how I've been able to structure my work. I'm glad to also call it something that I love to do, or my passion or calling, or any of those type of words. I feel like it's that can also change. I think that's an important thing to let yourself know, or be aware of, or be open to that thing changing. Even though I'm fairly young, I've done what I've been doing for a while. For my age, I've been doing it for about 6 years, and I'm 23. So I mean, that's a lot of time of my life. It's long. It's pretty long for my age, and I still love it and still really enjoy it, but I've definitely felt different about it through those years. As you would, but maybe somebody wouldn't expect that. Maybe they have a career goal and they're like, this is my career and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And then a few years into that and you feel like, is this really what I want to do? So anyway, I think I've liked to have the opportunity that my thing is multifaceted in not only the type of work, but also the location. I feel like being able to break that up, for me, for my personal, different wants or needs or skills, I like that it changes. I feel like I might become bored or not liking something if it was very stationary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I feel like the idea of that for some people would be like, oh, how draining. For me, it would be so stressful to zip around to a bunch of different places, but because you have so much energy, it gets you excited.
So do you like that you don't move around? I mean, let's say even inside of your specific job, let's say your retail job, if you had to go to 3 locations in that day, and let's say retail, would you like? Okay.
Sir,
okay.
I've had to go to
you've kind of done that.
stores of ours.
Well, but then you only stayed
out.
at that store that whole day.
Yes, but even just like the slightly farther commute, it's
okay. Oh, interesting.
I don't want to go out there. And then you just have to, because we get paid for travel time. Mm-hmm. So I actually have to go to my store first and then go to the other store. So
that's weird to you, you're saying?
Yeah, so it's like you walk in for 2 minutes, talk to your people, and then go.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was going to say, but I worked on today. Was it today? Yeah, I worked today. I've been working all 8 to 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is usually my hours vary a lot, so it's just been kind of weird to.
Yes.
It's out of the way, so I have lots of time when I'm home, which sometimes I don't. So, anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I worked on one project the whole day. Okay. But it's
oh, there you go. Did you
redesigning department? So there's a whole pamphlet, pages of the different sections of the aisle. So I worked on one thing, but I check off, it's like a list of all the SKU numbers and picture of how all the items are and all that stuff. So you check it all off as you go, and then once you're done with the page, you write done, the date, sign it, go. So I don't feel like, I've been working on this for so long and it's not done.
Oh, you have little finishes.
Yeah, little parts each page. So then I feel like, ooh, I accomplished that. Next one, how many can I get done?
I like that.
So it keeps me pumped, as opposed to if it was all on one sheet and I'd just be like,
have you had a day where you have literally you feel like it's been one thing the whole day, like even though I know you have many little things to you in your head, and you felt
yes, because one of our days, which wasn't my bad day surprisingly, we were just cleaning out the warehouse.
Okay, so that's one.
So we were literally cleaning labels off of glass and putting shelves up and stacking them all in the
What,
size
like spraying
order.
stuff on it and like...
Yes.
Oh.
We were literally doing that for 8 hours.
Okay, so now, to
But
compare...
I didn't mind it because we were just chilling. I had my music playing.
Well, but okay, so then there you... So, I mean...
But it cut up my
Compare that-
hands.
yeah,
And just,
yeah.
even if we're not working with glass, the relays cut up my hands. Everything about my job ruins my hands. And they were so good after this couple months. And now they're just
compare like you're saying you're doing one big long chunk and then you had the day where you had multiple different things. And I know you generally enjoy what you do, but what did you enjoy more? What felt more fulfilling? Which one felt more like you could do that for longer? I don't know. Which one? What are the different things?
Well, see, I also don't know. Maybe I was just having a bad day. I wasn't in the greatest mood that day. I don't know but I can't remember if it was because I had that annoying work day and if I was fine when I got home or if I, in the morning, was like, oh, I don't want to go to work. And then just made myself not hyped.
But, I mean, try to just think of all the different times. I don't know. It's just interesting to me.
What was your original?
Oh, what I had said was, comparing, we've been talking about doing one thing for most of your day and feeling like, this task is just...
what makes me feel more accomplished?
Well,
yeah,
what do you like more?
Day?
Yeah, what do you like more when it switches up a little bit and you're asked to move off of, hey, get off that project, go work on that project.
I always don't like when it's a lot of like, work on this for 30 minutes. Now go over here and do this for this time.
You don't like that.
I don't like
so
when
you'd
it's
rather
like
have
a bunch
project
of random
per day.
different things. But like a couple projects are fine.
Sure, I get it, but I mean in general.
It's just these short, quick projects, and it's like, okay, that's done, go to the next thing. It's like, which is why I'm liking work right now, and I'm hoping it doesn't take a dip when we actually open, because then it's a lot of that. It's like, you're in the middle of a project, you finally get your groove on, and then someone's like, hey, where's this? And then you're like, okay, let me show you where that is. Yeah. And you go back, and then somebody calls you, some employee calls you to come do a job with them. Go do that job, then you come back, and then it's like, as soon as you get going, somebody interrupts you. Yeah.
Well, I think one thing this also proves is, we do very different things. Everybody has something that's different, but even in, just to simplify it, like I go to many places, do many different projects, many different things every day. You would rather and sometimes have one thing and you're always in the same spot, but you still enjoy it. And I enjoy what I'm doing. So I think it's important that people also know and think, okay, just because that person likes that thing or they're thriving in that area or they're doing whatever, that you can also do your own thing, But I think it also shows that, having some variety in what you do is helpful. Like you said, when you do move, you like moving to projects, and you did like going to the other store. When you went to the other stores to work, you liked it, but but so do you like the change in the work at all? See, for me, that's just that's my thing. If it's not changing, I just become I have to have new or more or different. My stuff has almost, my work, it's so many different things, but my work has drastically changed every year. The last 2 years have probably been the most similar, but it's drastically changed. And it's weird because there's many people that probably get a completely different job. I've had the same jobs. I've just added more things or changed things. I have had to walk away from a few things. I didn't really want to, but I just didn't really have a choice. There was, at one time, I was working for about 7 schools, and it was just a little crazy. Did I enjoy it? Yes.
But you couldn't, grow and start certain projects because you had
so
much going on. Yeah. So you had to decide,
so there does come a point.
Is this worth not being able to do this other thing?
Yes, there does come a point to where you can't just do so many things. And definitely, without a doubt, because of the many things I've done, other things have had to either take a back burner or I didn't even get to where I wanted to get to with said project because of all these little projects, but you'd like maybe these 3 to be, whatever it may be. But anyway, I do think one thing that we have, found out, 2 people that are very different, are very, very different people, which I like.
It's funny though, because sometimes I think we're so similar because opinions about things. Yeah. And a lot of stuff is similar, like our design taste. We're both art and all that kind of stuff is similar. Yes, that's true. But then personality kind of traits, I guess, are very different.
Personality traits are
maybe not personality traits, opposite. How we process things, how we go about certain things.
Yeah, they're pretty much
is
opposite.
Very different.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, the main points that we're talking about, which I think are important and good to think about and ponder, is, you know, different people liking different things, and both can thrive and like their own thing and not have to worry about. See, I have a problem always comparing myself or what I do to everybody else. And I think a lot of people do that, but I do that a lot.
And eyelash.
And so I, and so I try to be, you know, try to do my thing and I try to more focus on that. I'm not good at that at all, but I try to. And I think, you know, variety in what you do is good. Keeping some, I mean, you have a lot of variety at your work.
But some people
really
like a perfect routine.
Sure, yeah, but I think variety can keep it fresher and new and have you enjoy it. So I think changing up a little thing. We've been getting up a lot earlier. We've been doing that, and we've been enjoying it. You used to despise it.
I am surprised because I feel like getting up at 8 was more of a struggle than getting up at 6, which might be like how many hours?
How many hours you're getting? Yeah.
Maybe I was getting too many hours.
There's all that stuff. You're supposed to count back from when you want to wake up.
Yeah, you know when you like it's a weekend and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna sleep in till 10 today, and then you have a headache and you feel awful. Yes. So maybe however many hours I was getting was too much.
Could have been.
Even at 8.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I wake up at 6 and I'm not tired at all, and I feel like sometimes. Most of the time when I was waking up at 8, I was like...
But there's also been days at the 6 that you get up that you don't.
That's but it's not because I'm just lazy. It's not like, I'm so tired, I have to go back to sleep. I'm like, no, I'm cold and I'm comfy. I just want to sleep, even though I'm not tired too. And, you know, one of the days, I woke up not even that much later at like 8, and I was like, can I have a headache?
Huh. Yeah, but I think, but kind of, I mean... You know, talking about schedules and work and those sort of things, I would say you got to have some habits. We definitely not broke.
Also, maybe it's my pillow because my neck be breaking.
Yeah, you do need to get it. I think having some sort of variety is good. I mean, that's a point we've talked about. But also some habits, some things that are the same are also very important. Having some habit, because we definitely, I mean... We were kind of moody or sad or upset or kind of whatever. And everyone kind of, a lot of people have been during this time, but us really not for that reason. So it's kind of detached from that, from like the virus and different things. I mean, of course, that underlines everything. You weren't working at all. My work really changed. So definitely there was a lot of change there, but we didn't, gladly, you know, we were blessed. We didn't feel directly affected too much. We were, but we didn't really feel that way.
Yeah.
And some of our habits or some of our regular things were definitely changed, and I think that was a bad thing. There does need to be some sort of structure to your day where things outside of work are obviously getting done. There's always something. But it
was also good because sometimes some of the things that we would have been like, hey, let's just go to this place for fun.
Yes.
We couldn't do those things, so
we did something else. That's what I was going to say.
There's some of the time we did productive things that we maybe wouldn't have done because.
Yes.
We would be like, hey, let's go eat at this place. Let's go.
Right. And that's what I was going to say on the flop side of that and finding a good balance is
the flop side.
The flop side of that. Oh, really? I just use that.
Flip side, I feel like people say more often.
Oh, the flip side. Yes, the flop side. On the flop side. On the other side, I would say it's also important, the balance between the two things, but I think having some sort of habit, something that you keep, something that is consistent. But then also, you got to have that variety. You have to have some sort of variety to keep things fresh and new. So I think finding
just new goals.
No, anything. The variety can be anything. The variety can be switching when you get up. The variety, switching the time you get up, switching the time you go to sleep, switching the time you eat. I mean, it could be something very, very simple. But I think finding that can be something that really does bring a new sense of fulfillment or a new energy, something new. So anyway, I think that was a good conversation. Mm-hmm. We were pondering about schedules and work and personality differences. Those different like personality trait test things. We are completely...
we should do a video on that.
We should. That'd be awesome. We are completely opposite, like pretty opposite on that. And it's very... it's very interesting. The phrase opposites attract or whatever. There's obviously a lot of similarities, and there does need to be. But in a personality trait, or the way we think of things, definitely the way we think of things is completely different. And so I don't think necessarily the opposites attract thing is something that you maybe should be looking for. I don't necessarily think that, but I do think there is a reason to that saying. And I think if you can cope with the differences or learn from the differences.
It's all balance. It's got to be a certain amount of both things.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's all the same, it's not really going to work out.
And if it's all opposite.
Really good, even though you would think,
the same. Yeah.
Everything is, we do
Well, because I thought about that, because people, sometimes my mom, my dad, whoever would comment on such thing. Like before I got married, they were like, oh, you're probably going to marry some, go-getter business, this, that. And I was like, no, we would kill each other. We'd have if I met somebody like myself, that means they were at a younger age working on a bunch of projects and stuff. That's someone like me. And if I would have met that person and wanted to date or marry that person, it would have been we'd have no similar.
See each other.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, how's it going?
And we'd have no similar goals, because they would already have their goals. They would already have these things, and they would already have these things. So we've been able to kind of have these things. We've done our art together. I probably wouldn't have been able to do art with it. You know what I mean? Like certain little things, it would have been much, much different. And even speaking of art itself, there's not as many business-minded artists. You have a lot of artists that then have, managers or whatever. There's also business-minded artists. There's tons of them, but not as many. There's not that many. It's not as common. And so for me, someone else who was super interested in business, or maybe something like that, like some of my other interests, they probably wouldn't have been into art, or they probably wouldn't have wanted to do any of that. So I think it's very interesting and very important to definitely see some of those differences as positives, and also some of the similarities as positives. So I think that's cool. So yeah, all those different things, personalities and schedules, and keeping things fresh. All right, guys. So that was lots of fun, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.